Lacombe, Lucien. Lacombe, Lucien. This movie proves that you don't have to have a bunch of lines to be a star. Seriously, he only says about 4 or 5 words in the whole thing. You don't know how long you don't know how long I struggled with that or that song. It's really hard to think of songs when you have guests on the thing. Hello there, CriterioNate here. This is Megan. Say hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Oh, thank God. I'm so glad I didn't have to. I'm so glad I didn't have to rehearse that. We didn't have to rehearse that beforehand. Okay, good. Number 3, part 2 of the Louis Malle 3 film set, youth and debauchery and all that, or whatever you call it. Number 329, Louis Malle's Lacombe, Lucien. Although technically it's Lucien Lacombe, but he's all James Bonding throughout the entire film, you know, wearing shades. But we'll get to him in a minute.
I feel like it's worth noting that it took Nate about 2 weeks to figure out how to pronounce that.
Yeah. They watched the evolution of my pronunciation of a name. So yeah, 1974. Yeah, 1974, 138 minutes, color, mono, French, blah blah blah. So way better than Murmur of the Heart, although a heck of a lot more depressing. Oh yeah, no, this is way more depressing than Murmur of the Heart, but still a lot better. You know, no incest in this one. No, not a drop of incest, which is a start. This is a start, yes.
It's a good baseline for a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good start, yes. So we got this. So let me give you the plot. We'll go and spoil the whole thing. We'll do all spoilers. This will be rated AS, you know. Or as much as I can of it. You'll fill in the gaps because you know you've seen it twice and I've seen it once now, so you know that's why you're here. So anyway, so you got boy Lucien who kills rabbits for a living. He
works at a nursing home.
He works at a nursing home, and he kills birds from the windows and kills rabbits on his off time because that's what 17-year-old boys do apparently in France. You know.
Oh, I feel like that was pretty standard.
Anyway, so he wants to join the resistance because it's set in 1944, so it's a war film. He wants to join the resistance from this teacher, and he ends up joining through some weird mishap. He ends up joining the Gestapo and ends up working for the Nazis. You know, right?
Yes.
You were paying attention.
I was paying attention. He is sort of your classic, I don't know, unhappy 17-year-old boy. And he ends up in the Gestapo quite by accident, but is not totally troubled by it. And probably a lot of that comes from the fact that he's pissed that the resistance didn't want him, because he was told that they have enough unskilled 17-year-old boys.
It's true. That was the point. I'm glad you remembered that because I would have just let that slide by. I would have just blamed it on the fact that he's 17 and he don't say nothing. Seriously, this kid has about 8 lines throughout the whole movie.
Like, I wish that was an exaggeration.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, it's more. There's actually more, but when he puts those shades on, he's just like. Yeah.
That's like 70% of the movie right there. You got it.
The movie is, just this kid staring at people. You know, he shoots people and doesn't explain why. And it's like, oh, God, yeah. It's,
so anyway, he joins the Gestapo.
Yeah, he joins the Gestapo and he meets this Jewish family who are, French Jewish.
Yeah, so they're from Paris. They've moved out of Paris. Paris isn't safe for Jewish people at this point, obviously. And he meets them because the patriarch, the father of the family, is a tailor, and he's brought there by one of the other members of this sort of local branch of the Gestapo. He's not technically in the Gestapo, to get a suit. So, which is how he meets the father. And
one of them's black. That was interesting.
I feel like you need to clarify that not one of the Jewish family, but one
Oh
of the
yeah,
police.
thank you. One of the Jewish Gestapo peoples is black.
Not the Jewish Gestapo.
I'm sorry.
There's no such thing as the Jewish Gestapo.
Hey, how about that? You're right. That would have made the war all kinds of different, you know.
Yes.
So one of the Gestapo people is black. I noticed it. How cool is that? Anyway, so
meets this family.
He meets the family. He meets the daughter, who has the all too appropriate name of France. And it didn't.
I like this movie, but that was so heavy-handed.
Yeah. I want to see France. Stick your head out. Look. Open your eyes. You ain't gotta move your neck. Just do this. You know. Take a good sniff. You know what that is? That's France.
So the family consists of 3 people: father, the patriarch, the tailor, his daughter, and his mother. His
daughter can play piano relatively okay. Yeah.
I don't really know if that's a pertinent fact, but okay.
Well, she's playing piano throughout the whole movie. I was gonna mention it.
Okay.
And it's music too, so
That's
you know.
True.
And there's good music. You got Django Reinhardt when he's playing. That's like the only really enjoyable scene with any joy in it is watching Lucien ride his bike at the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe this will be some lighthearted. And after that, it's just like, this dude's kind of depressed. He's a little heavy, you know. So anyway. So he kind of has this, so Lucien kind of falls for France, the girl. We're probably going to have to say the girl, you know. And kind of protects her, you know. They go to a dance at one point, and this old dude tries to make a pass on her, and
Lucien's like, you know what? Since someone just violated your bodily autonomy, I'm angry about that, and I'm going to do the same thing by grabbing you and trying to drag you home. He makes me mad.
There you go.
And then he rapes her.
Yeah.
Heads up, rapes.
He has a love, They have a love rape relationship, you know.
Not good.
And this ain't like Naked, where it's like, you know. Yeah, this isn't like Naked. This is not in, you know. Anyway. So what else? So yeah, they got a really weird relationship. But eventually. What do you know? I was
gonna say, if it sounds like nothing's happened so far, that's true. Like, this movie is 2 hours and 18 minutes long, and mostly nothing happens.
Most of it is just the kids sitting,
staring.
I contemplated not saying a word and just doing Lucien, and my person Lucien, the whole thing, letting you do it. But you know, you could be Lucien for the whole thing. We need shades, though.
He only wears the shades once.
Well, it feels like he was wearing them the whole length of the movie, as long as he wore them, you know, because he wouldn't take them off when he met Mr. Horn. Albert Horn is he's the tailor's name. So anyway, so at one point I think Albert gets arrested. I think, or is he assassinated?
No, he goes to visit Lucien where. At the hotel bar where he's been with the Gestapo, and on his way out through a series of unfortunate circumstances, he is identified by one of the members of the Gestapo and is taken away. Mm-hmm. And then Lucien goes back to his apartment, not Lucien's apartment, Horn's apartment, to tell France.
Yeah, and then shortly after, German officer comes by and is going to escort France and the grandmother, whose name I can't remember.
She doesn't have a name.
Oh, good.
She's not named.
Oh, really?
No.
I thought it was.
I don't think so. She doesn't speak.
Probably, yeah. You're probably right. No, I think you're right. But Lucien kills the officer, and they run away to Spain. He thinks. I don't know. Spain. I think. Yeah.
That was the idea. The goal was Spain. Because Spain was not involved in the war.
Yeah.
So from there, they could have escaped, in theory.
Yeah. But instead, all we get is a bunch of scenes of France standing over Lucien with a rock, and Lucien hiding in a tree, Lucien watching France bathe in a lake and river.
It's flowing.
Oh, thank you. I didn't notice. I can't even see. It's like all the grass was in front of her body because they didn't want to show her naked, you know. So, okay, well, thank you. Thank you for paying attention to that. Yeah, that's that kind of stuff that you know.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for, accuracy, you know. Otherwise, I'll just slide through it. This is why people don't comment on these things, you know. But anyway, unless they're saying, you know, horrendous things, you know, Salo is actually a really good movie. I've told her all about how horrendous Salo is, so she's hip to the jive, you know. So
I am.
Although she likes Hiroshima more, so
I don't enjoy it. I think it is interesting and valuable and artistically valid.
Yeah. My channel.
And you asked me on
I did, didn't I? Yeah, I know. And we still got one more.
This is a grave of your own digging.
I know. Anyway, so Lucien dies in the end. But I mean,
can I pick you up on a small point there?
Oh,
we don't see him.
I know.
Die.
Yeah, I know. We don't see him die. But we know he dies.
In the end of the film, visually, he's just still like hanging out in the country with friends,
doing his staring thing, you know.
Yeah.
Doing his thing, you know, where he just doesn't talk, just laying in the grass, you know.
Yeah, that's weird.
I seriously thought that
the only like resolution we get to any of it is text over the screen that says that Lucien was arrested in October of 1944, tried and executed. Yeah. We don't know what happens to France. We don't know what happens to the grandmother. We don't know what happens to Albert Horn.
Yeah, nothing. It's kind of weird. I mean, maybe that was. I mean, I guess Malle's point was to just focus this on Lucien. That was his big point of this.
It was a character.
Created
study.
this character, and you know. And he talked about it in the French interview. He talked about how he didn't want it necessarily to. I think he said he didn't want it to be a war film because he wanted the character of Lucien to be interchangeable between time periods. You know, if something were to happen, you know, and again in a different period, you know, there would be other Lucien Lacombes, and he calls him Lucien Lacombe.
He does. But that's how Lucien introduces himself, Lacombe Lucien.
I seriously thought it was a verb that wasn't translated or a noun or something, you know. I didn't know it was a surname or, you know, so.
I think the way the film ends with not knowing is really interesting because, you know, if you think about the experiences of people who lived in France during the war, especially people with Jewish friends or Jewish family members, people who were Jewish, there's a lot of not knowing that happens. You know, there's people are taken away and you don't know what happens to them and you don't know where they end up. And I think the end of the film really echoed that in a way that's maybe not entirely enjoyable as a viewer. Like you want some sort of conclusion. You want to feel like there's an ending, but I think that's a very real and period appropriate feeling for the ending.
All Malle was concerned about was Lucien. That's, in the end, I think we got closure of his story. We know what happens to him. We don't know exactly when, how. You don't know how. I mean, we know how long he lived. You know how long it went on, but we don't know what, you know, how he found out. You know,
that's true.
Did they keep moving or something? Did they move on and then, like, on the way to we don't even know if they actually stopped in Spain. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, we don't know where they ended up. The country scenes at the end were sort of vague, generic, you know, European countryside.
Yeah.
Because they started in southwestern France, so obviously southwestern France looks a lot like northeastern Spain.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's Lacombe Lucien. Again, way better than Murmur of the Heart. But damn, could they give him some lines? Could they let him talk a little? Just a smidgen? Yeah. You have more to say?
It's referencing when Malle talks about him in the interview. The actor who plays Lucien Lacombe is not a professional actor, had not acted before. He was a tree trimmer that they found who lived in southwestern France because a big part of the character was his, oh my gosh, what's the English word? His country origins. You know, he's not from Paris. He's not from a big city. He's from southwestern France, and that's really sort of important in a political and historical context. And so he found someone who was not an actor. And I don't think that not giving him lines was a practical thing because of that, but I think that as a character, like, him choosing not to speak said a lot more than if he had. He was a much more intense character because he didn't speak. Because he just, like, stared at people all the time. They would say hello, bonjour. He just stares at them. And
shoots the officer. Doesn't say nothing. Just keeps going. Doesn't say, "Come on, we're getting out of here." It doesn't confirm that that's what's happening. He has 3 moods. We were angry on occasion, uncomfortably amused. He laughs like twice in the film, and it's super creepy both times. Once when he brings over champagne for the horns.
And they're super uncomfortable because he's there.
Yeah. And then the other time when France gets ants all over her feet. And and he's like, ha, 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 ha. Just like.
But like aside from that and the couple of times that he does get actively angry, which is mostly with France, he's just brooding. He's sullen the whole time. And I want to say that that's particular to this character, but it's pretty much standard teenage boy.
Even today. All right. Well, there's not much else to say. So, Lacombe, Lucien. B.
B plus.
B plus, yeah. It was way better than Remember the Heart. I think there were some interesting moments in this movie. I thought hearing Django Reinhardt was a joy, although I understand you don't need to reuse him much because hearing that joyous ding, 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 ding all the way through the whole movie would be a little inappropriate. So
yeah.
I think Malle definitely had a story to tell, and he did it. So that's it. What are your final thoughts on this?
It's hard to say why I like this film because it's contextual with the next film in the series, Au revoir les enfants, because these 2 films are both about 1944. I'm pretty sure Au revoir les enfants is set in 44. It might be in 45, but it's definitely the end of the war. They're both about France during this period, and they take totally different tones and totally different approaches, and so it's hard to say why I like Lacombe Lucien without, the context of Au revoir les enfants. But
we'll get back to you about this tomorrow. Then we'll reference this again. Anyway, so that's so trailer on this. And
don't watch it if you want something cheerful. It's not happening.
What, this one?
This one.
Yeah. No. There's no cheerfulness except for Reinhardt. So, trailer supplements. We went back to the disc and we watched. There's the excerpt from the Pour le Cinema program, specifically just about Malle talking about all the characters, and it was really interesting. And then we watched a little bit more of we listened to a little bit more of the audio interview that he did in 1974. And the rest of the supplements were done after. Au revoir les enfants. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of them reference that one. One of them audio interviews from '88, and another one from 1990. So, and this was 1987. So, and then the interviews with Candice Bergen, who was his wife, Malle's wife, and then Pierre Billard. So, all that'll be tomorrow. So anyway, Lacombe Lucien, B plus. Yes. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Of course, it's not over. When you think it's all over, it's not over. We got this one tomorrow. And she's just screaming for Au revoir les enfants. And then we'll be done with the three film set. And then, so then we got that tomorrow.
See, clearly they were put in order of, quality. So that you watch the worst Malle film first.
No, I think they were just chronologically. But no. See, because...
I'm
No.
making a joke.
No, I understand. No, because this is how. See, I'm gonna hip you to. I don't know if you've watched a lot of the older reviews, but whenever there's three, and these guys know, whenever there's like 3 movies in a set, usually the middle one is the best. The first one is the okay one, and the last one is the sucky one, is the worst of them.
Well, they fixed that here.
They must have.
Because the last one is the best.
They must have done that. They must have.
They must have.
They must have happened, you know. So anyway, but we shall see. Again, I have little to no knowledge of this movie, but she's putting a lot of faith in this, and I'm putting a lot of faith into Malle because I'm looking forward to Elevator to the Gallows, which will be next week, I think. Yeah, next week. So the rest of the week will be so tomorrow that, and then the only one we have to do left is late spring. Although we may be putting this one off because I forgot I've got a job interview on Wednesday, and so I don't think I'm gonna have time for late spring. So we may have to put this one off till next Monday, because we won't have a review till then. Although I might find time this weekend. Although I highly doubt it. There you are. So anyway, it's the first time you're hearing about it. But anyway, I'll tell you about that later. So, and I can finally show you I got this. So next week, probably next week. Although we might have 2. We might do. Au revoir, laissez faire, and then I'll do late spring, although that's way too long. That's way too many, because we've got this movie and all the supplements, and then I've got this movie and another movie on here, so it's like, I think we'll try to do this on Monday, although we'll try to do late spring on Wednesday, but I'm not holding my breath. But and then we also got Harlan County, USA, Verdiana, where's Verdiana? And Fist in the Pocket is finally here. So those are all in some order, which I can't think of right now, and I don't feel like remembering because battery's dying and all that stuff, and we've been yakking for a while. So. Yeah,
I'm not sorry.
Yes.
I have a lot of feelings about French film.
So you do. She's so looking forward to Breathless. Oh boy. Thankfully I don't have to wait for another year. See, you're breathless just thinking about it. I am
not looking forward to Breathless.
Oh, you are not? Oh, I thought you did. I thought you were speaking about
I'm delighted in advance at how much you're going to hate it.
Oh, good.
So in that sense, I'm looking forward to it.
See the name Godard. It's like, well, the guys know. It ain't getting better than a C. Although I may have given Alphaville a C or something because I didn't realize the full potential of Godard, Alphaville is not the movie you start someone off if you want somebody to know the full potential of how cruddy Godard can be and how up his own butt his movies do get, But anyway,
I can't counter that. I have nothing good to say about him.
That's why I like. That's why she's here. Yeah. That's why I like you, love. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for us. Thank you for watching. Morals. Don't rape the girl that you sort of like. Don't do that.
Have an emotion. It'll do you good.
Smile and mean it.
You don't even have to smile. Just have an emotion.
Don't laugh when your girl gets ants on her. Don't curse when your bike gets a flat, although I'd curse if I'm although I'd probably do the same thing.
I feel like it's say things sometimes, have feelings sometimes.
Yeah, feelings are good. And the Nazis are bad.
Don't join the Gestapo.
Don't join the Gestapo. Yes, because bad people, And so that's it for us. Thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow. We will we as an actual plural will see you tomorrow for not that one. We already saw that one. Au revoir, laissez faire tomorrow. And until then, say goodnight, Megan.
Good night, Megan.